Wiltshire firefighters are meeting with the county's MPs in Westminster at the moment. They're hoping to get support for their case against plans to lose 30 full-time posts, change to shift patterns and reductions in the amount of specialist emergency equipment. Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service say it's made changes to save £1.8 million by 2014 because of government spending cuts, and that no decisions have been made yet. Steve Garraway, who's the Wiltshire Brigade organiser for the Fire Brigades Union, has left that meeting to speak to us. Steve, welcome to the programme.
Good evening, hi.
So which MPs have turned up to meet you then?
We spoke to Duncan Hames from Chippenham, Justin Tomlinson from Swindon North, and James Gray, the MP for North Wiltshire.
So tell us then about your main concerns about job losses.
Well, it's really clear, really. I mean, at the end of the day, what the fire service want to do is to reduce the amount of firefighters that ride appliances, move them all around the county so that we go away from basically a risk-based cover to a sort of spread of having a few dotted here, there and everywhere.
What do you mean? Explain what that means in layman's terms, risk-based cover compared to how it will be in the future.
Yeah, sure. I mean, essentially, if you can imagine, if you take somewhere such as Swindon, at the moment, obviously there's a higher density of people and property and so on there. And so we have more appliances, more people there to deal with any instance that might be there. The service is proposing to reduce the amount of people at Stratton and at Swindon Central Station, and also remove the air appliance, which is the appliance which we use for high-rise buildings, of which obviously there's plenty within Swindon and more planned, and also the removal of a special appliance which we call emergency support unit, which goes to road traffic collisions and carries vital life-saving equipment, and that's also going to be removed from Swindon.
Where would that go to?
Well, actually, there's four currently in the county. There's one at Swindon, there's one in Chippenham, there's one at Trowbridge, and there's one at Salisbury, and they want to remove all four of those and replace them with one vehicle, which they haven't actually said what it will be or what it will carry, and that will be placed at Trowbridge.
Right, so in a more central location then, I guess, would be the way of thinking about it. Meanwhile, Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service say there'll be no compulsory job losses. There'll be 14 posts going through natural wastage, and 16 jobs or posts rather have already been frozen. Now, nobody has to go if they don't want to. That's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Well, obviously, compulsory redundancy would be something that nobody would want. What it doesn't remove the fact that is that there will be a reduction in the amount of firefighters, whether that be compulsory redundancy, which we're happy that the service is saying that won't happen, or through natural wastage over the next couple of years. Still doesn't, as I say, change the fact that there's going to be less firefighters. So
you've been putting these points to Wiltshire MPs today. What have they said to you?
Well, we had a positive response. Certainly Duncan Hames, who's my MP, as a firefighter in Chippenham, we were detailing one of the duty systems to him where the service wants firefighters to work 4, maybe 5 days on the trot, and his response was actually, can an employer even do that? Similarly with Justin Tomlinson from Swindon, he said that nobody would not be concerned about these reductions. So what we can say is that there's no way that nobody has not been told what the consequences possibly are, and for definite we feel that the ball is in their court now.
You feel, though, that they are a part of the government that's made these cuts that are causing the problems, don't you?
Well, we do, which is precisely the reason why we need to come to Westminster, come and see our MPs, speak to our councillors and engage with them to make them realise the impact that these cuts are having.
Do you think they'll change their minds?
Well, time will tell. As we say, they've been told of what the consequences will be, in our belief, and once again, really, the ball's in their court.
And the way that you're going with this, and one of the reasons for you being there and impressing your point upon your MPs today, is you're encouraging them to sign an early day motion. Just give us the gist of what that would be and what it will say.
Yeah, an early day motion is basically, it suggests it's for the whole of the South West. It's come from our office in Bristol, and it's requesting that all MPs sign up to say that almost enough is enough to a degree. There's cuts across the whole of the South West, of which Wiltshire is obviously a big part of, and we urge the MPs to really look at the financing and say that when there's no meat left on the bone, you can't really shave any more off.
Okay, Steve, thank you for joining us. Steve Garraway joining us from Westminster, where he and other members of the FBU here in Wiltshire have been talking, as you heard, to Wiltshire MPs this afternoon. It's 5:15.